calling, "Hey, Gene. Hey, Snafu," you know. And no sound. So I thought, well, hell, I'll crawl over there. So I crawled the 6 or 7 feet. And as Gene tells the story, why he kept asking for the password.
And the password that night was Chevrolet. The password always had an L in it. And it was Chevrolet that night, I think. And there was no answer. And so I took up the trigger slack and aimed right square at the, what would be the center of the head of the silhouette.
Well, I didn't hear anything. And it was very quiet, too, as I remember. And, but as I peered over the edge of the foxhole, here were Gene and Snafu, and they were lying back in the foxhole, and Gene had his .45 up here, and he says, "You dumb son of a bitch, I damn near shot you."
And then I said, "What in the hell are you doing crawling up on me at night in the pitch dark?" And he said, "Well, I'm thirsty. Have you got any water?" And I said, "Yeah, I got some water, but God damn it, I nearly shot you."
The next morning, practically everybody starved to death for a drink of water. We filled our our canteens with water from gasoline, 5-gallon cans that gasoline had been stored in.
Unfortunately, nobody had cleaned out the drums.
It had oil and rust in it. When you drank it, it hit the bottom of your stomach and you got cramps immediately.
The water was so tainted, many of the men got very, very sick from it because it was not fresh water. All you could taste was that oil base.
And, you take a drink, and then I think if you'd have blew your breath and lit a match, you'd have just went up in flames.
The second day, D+1, and we were supposed to, one of the 5th Regiment's assignments was to take the airfield. Then they told us to move out and not to stop anything. And a few shells started falling, and then we started across. We had no more than gotten, I guess, 25 yards, then they opened up with machine gun fire. Until this day, I don't know how any of us got across it, because I looked to the right of me and to the left of me, and lines of white traces were coming past me, just like the railing on a chair or something, and it was waist high. And I was reciting the 23rd Psalm, and Snafu was right next to me, and I couldn't hear what he was saying, but most of it was cussing. And the worse it got, the more I'd pray, and the worse he'd cuss. To me, I thought, this must be what it's like to be in the middle of a tornado.
And I believe that was in my complete Marine Corps dealings. I believe that I was as scared as I was ever scared going across that open airstrip and listening to the bullets whining and the artillery shells are going and the battle in full rage. That was the longest walk that I've ever taken in my life, right there, barring none.
Fear is probably the word. You fellow ought to feel fear. Kind of tell the difference between scared and fear.
I never knew that I would survive. I never had the feeling that my life was in some way charmed, that I was going to survive the battle.
I think everybody that went in expected that he'd be the one, like winning a lottery ticket. I bought the ticket, and I'm the one that's going to win.
You've heard these people say, I prayed a lot, or I prayed a lot, for this or that whenever I was there. I never did pray a lot whenever we were there. I just had a kind of a standard deal that I carried with me throughout the complete ordeal. I just say, God, I'm in your... I just say, God, I'm in your hands, take care of me.
I was talking to Lieutenant Hillbilly Jones, who was a machine gun platoon lieutenant. I was talking to him about the fact that I seemed to be more afraid than a lot of the other people. And he said, don't worry about it, Sledgehammer. It's just that you don't mind admitting it, and they're just not saying anything about it. And that's when he told me that bravery was controlled fear. And then Sergeant Teskovich came over, and the three of us sat there and warmed up some coffee with little steno tablets before it got dark, and we're drinking the coffee, and all of a sudden I heard a voice say, just as clear as we're talking here, you will survive the war. And I said, did y'all hear that? And Hillbilly said, no, what did you hear, Sledgehammer? And I said, well, you didn't hear anybody say anything? And Teskovich said, no, all I heard was a machine gun off to the left.
I thought I was indestructible. I was young enough to believe that, too. Until I was wounded later on in the campaign. That came as a complete surprise to me. In fact, I've never been so angry in my life.